Do you want to hit oh, you're recording, Kelly. Okay. All right. I know. I'm glad you are. Well, welcome to our call tonight. I am so excited. Wow, we have a lot of people on tonight. Yay. I'm so excited.
You read more often.
Yeah. Well, we are so excited tonight because Megan Kirk is going to be speaking on her journey to Road to Diamond. She is a full-time working mom. She has two little boys, Ronan and Connor. The ages are 4 and 2. She's super, super busy. And I think it was right around October-ish where, we really, she really put her head down and just dove right in and said, I'm gonna get Diamond. And she's just been a consistent coach all the way through. She signed on back in March 2014, so she's been a coach for a while. She didn't dive right into it, but just a couple months after, slowly kind of worked her way up, to coaching, and just has kept balanced. And I just think she's an amazing coach, and I'm excited to turn it over to her and just let her have at it. And that way I'm not taking up too much of your time. So Megan, go ahead.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, thanks for the introduction. I've been a coach since March of last year. Got out kind of slow and then got into the challenge groups, and about this time last year, actually, we decided to look at buying a new house. And in that process, we decided to rent our house. And so we moved in with my parents last Thanksgiving, and we were there until Memorial Day. So part of my story is this lull that I had from December until May, where unfortunately, I wasn't doing a whole lot. I mean, that was one of my excuses was, well, life's just crazy right now. Like, I don't have time for this. So I kind of laid back, and looking back, I mean, that's all it was an excuse that I was too busy. We had too much going on. We just didn't need to do it. And I held on to those excuses for a while, between being busy with work, the boys, their schedules, my husband's schedule, living with my parents again. I mean, we're in our 30s. We weren't ready for this, and it was only supposed to be for like a month, and it turned into about 5 months. So a lot of adjustments for all of us there. Some of my other excuses as to why I was kind of slow with all the business stuff is I'm pretty shy. I've always been an introvert. I'm not the most outgoing person. I have a lot of passion in me, but it doesn't always come out that way because I'm just shy. I'm not outgoing. Like, I kind of take time to warm up to people and kind of build that trust. And so I let that kind of hold me back too. Like, I don't know what to say to people. Like, how do I start talking? Like, small talk makes me extremely uncomfortable. Like, when I'm around some people, like, I just don't do small talk, and sometimes it comes across as weird. So I really work on this, but it was, again, one of my excuses, which then kind of rolls into that whole fear of inviting. We're all terrified of inviting. The nice thing about this business is I think it does feed to those introverts, and that I can hide behind this computer screen and I can have conversations with people, and it's way easier for me than being face-to-face and trying to talk about my product or talk about this business. Depending on who it is, it's a little bit better. And so I had a lot of different excuses going on for me. And, initially, as far as the inviting goes, like, I was having a lot of success with making posts on my Facebook page and just saying, inviting to challenge groups. And I was getting a good response. And so I used that method for a while, for several months actually, and got a lot of new blood that way. And so I wasn't really doing the whole 2 to 3 invites a day. But I kind of saw, as I kind of pulled away from the business, so did all that interest. And so getting back into it, I realized I have to change something. This isn't just going to come to me. I have to go after it. And so in one of my goals for last year was, or for this year, was to go to every Super Saturday. I hadn't been to a live event. When I signed up in 2014, I wasn't ready to make the jump and go to Summit in 2014. But I told Jamie, I will buy my ticket. I listened to the speakers from home. After kind of listening, when tickets were available, I bought my ticket for Summit 2015. I said, I'm in this until at least Summit 2015. Like, I have to give this a chance. So I made that commitment. I bought my ticket. I was ready to go. So I also said, everybody talked about these live events. I said, okay, Super Saturdays, I'm there. So January rolls around. Super Saturday fell on the same day as my son's birthday. So I didn't go to that one. So family is just too much for me. So I couldn't make that. I couldn't break that commitment. So that one was out. But then April rolled around. Autumn was going to be at the Indy Super Saturday. So Ashley and I went. It was awesome. The energy in the room was just incredible. And so from there, like, that fire started to reignite. And she and I had a lot of conversations then. It was like, we just started building this vision. And so it was kind of like, okay, well, we could do this. And let's think about this and talk about that. So in April of this year, the wheel started turning again. Like, I started to get that fire back. Like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. My goal for the year was to be diamond. I really wanted to be diamond by Summit. And so May, we moved and everything. And I think it was in May or the beginning of June, I knew I needed some type of accountability partner. So I reached out to Adrienne, and she works outside the home. I work outside the home. She has 2 kids. I have 2 kids. We have a lot of stuff in common. And so it was just kind of like a natural connection. Like, we both were after it. We wanted this. And it was someone I knew, if she's doing it, I have no reason not to be doing it. And so we were messaging every day, like, invite sent, invite sent, invite sent, 2 to 3 a day. That was it. We were checking on our vitals. It's really easy, I think, in this business to get overwhelmed. I still get overwhelmed, and I just have to dial it back. I go back to those vital behaviors, sending out a couple invites a day, doing my personal development. And so for me, kind of changing that mindset of I'm going to have to go after this. Like, it's not just going to come from me, was a big part of it. So Adrienne and I started working together. We were committing to 2 to 3 invites a day. And then we realized we have to start inviting coaches. That was another piece of the puzzle. We were inviting challengers, but we've got to invite coaches too. This is how we build our business. And so once you start doing those invites, the conversations start flowing. And so that really helped. For me personally, my coaching, like, it all happened so fast, I'll be honest. I signed up in March. I signed my husband up in April. I signed Ashley in July, Rachel in December. So when I ended 2014, I had 3 coaches. My sister was in there at some point, but she kind of fell off. So we'll forgive her for that one. I didn't sign my next coach until August of this year. I did not sign my 4th coach until August of this year. And then in September, I signed one more. And then Jamie got a hold of me in October, and we were really going to push. And I said, by Halloween, I'm doing this. I can't wait till the end of the year. I've got to do this. And so October, I signed those last 3 coaches that would get me to diamond. In November, I signed 4 coaches. What I learned at Summit, and this is where the mindset piece comes in, I was so focused on finding people that were willing to build this business. For me, I felt really uncomfortable with this idea of discount coaches. To me, I felt like I was kind of abusing the system somehow. I don't know. I felt weird about it, and I couldn't shake it. So I just avoided the whole conversation of discount coaches. And so when I went to Summit and listened to all these stories, and, successes and failures of everybody, I realized everybody's building their business with discount coaches and builders. Like, this is how you do it. So for me, that's what kind of clicked, was I have to use both sides of the coin here. I have to use builders. I have to use discount coaches in order to build my business. And so right now I'm about half and half. When I hit diamond, I had 4 builders and 4 discount coaches. So I felt pretty good about that. I mean, like I said, I've heard some stories where people have 2 builders and 6 discount coaches. The combinations are obviously endless. There was a video that I had watched, I don't remember when, but of another coach, and she was talking about 2-star diamond. And for me, it was something where I was like, I can do this. She talked about what it was to hit 2-star. And so for me, I've created this vision of going beyond diamond. So my first step was to achieve diamond. And so to do that, I really had to change my mindset. Like I said, when I went to Summit, there were so many great talks. And one of those talks focused a lot on that 2% mindset, not accepting that average is how it has to be. Like, we don't have to just accept that we're part of this 98% where we're comfortable. It is what it is mentality. I know Summer hates that, and I've kind of grown to hate it too, that it is what it is. I don't think so. I think it is what we make it. We deserve to work and get into that 2%. Why not me? Why don't I deserve this? And it's hard to come up with those reasons why not. I'm going to see if I can screen share here for a second. I've never done this, so let's see. Maybe. Okay. Is this working? Can you see my little PowerPoint here? Okay. So this 2% mindset, that 98% is just being like everyone else. And I think being in this business allows us to have those dreams to go for the big picture. Some of these things, choosing happiness and, going for what you want, acting in spite of fear. We have these fears, and that's natural. But we have to attack those fears, and that's when the true potential starts to grow. That's where your excitement, I think, kind of comes in. Like I said, for me, inviting was a big, weird thing for me. So to get out of my comfort zone and start doing that, I still have my moments, and I get completely psyched out, and I look at my list and I'm like, nope, I don't want to invite anybody on this list. There's no way I can do it. And so it takes some mind training. I will watch motivational videos. I will read some personal development. I'll walk away from it and I'll come back later. Because for me, something's not working. And then there's other days I sit down and I look at my list and I'm like, bam, 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 done. I don't know. I look at my list probably, I'm adding to my list constantly. But every so often I'll go through and I'll just rewrite my list, because sometimes just that action of rewriting my list does something for me where I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm going to talk to her and I'm going to talk to her. And it works for me. But I think this mindset of not just accepting that because the rest of the world is okay with where they're at, that we have to be okay with where we're at. We have so much potential to change lives in this business. And that's what we have to remember. Okay, I'm going to see if I can switch back now. Okay. All right, there we go. We have this choice to either go after our dreams or we continue to sleep with them. I made a choice to go after them. I have a vision of what I want for my family. I see a lot of freedom. Some of that is just the freedom to travel. Some of it's financial freedom. For us, that's what drives me. We talk about our why a lot. You want your why to be what wakes you up every day and gets you, jumping into this business and just going after your dreams. like I said, I focus a lot on positive thinking. My training is as a school psychologist. I'm trained to think in a positive way. I'm trained to, you change your thoughts, you change your behaviors. If you think I can do this, I've got this, then you're going to sit down and knock out those invites. Figure out when it works best for you. There are some days where the mornings work well for me because I can get up, I send my invites, and I go to work. I don't worry about my messages during the day, so I don't have time to sit and stress about whether or not they're saying yes or they're saying no. I have a coach that likes to send her invites at night because then she just goes to bed and she doesn't have to think about whether or not they're going to say yes or no until the morning. I still get butterflies when I see, messages pop up because I'm like, oh gosh, what are they going to say? For the most part, I get a pretty positive feedback, but that fear is still there that they're going to say no. But that's okay that they say no. We've planted that seed and you continue to water that seed. You follow up, you continue to build that relationship. Because what I have found is most of those people come back. They come back and see, whatever they were trying or whatever they were trying to do just wasn't working. So they want to come back and see how you can help them. How do you add value to them? And so let's see. I got a zillion notes here. The way I look at it is to be successful, you have to think differently. It's not that you're thinking better, but you're thinking differently about how to attack this business. Getting out of that comfort zone, changing your mindset, saying, I can do this. I can send out these invites. I'm going to change somebody's life. And thinking maybe of not even, inviting every day, but thinking, I'm going to reach out and try to help 2 or 3 people a day. Again, sometimes just changing small words like that can have enough of an impact for your mind to change those behaviors. Our minds are so powerful, and just the power of thinking can impact so much of what we're doing in this business, in life in general. Beyond this business, I don't get worked up a whole lot. I'm one of those people I try to see things from every angle. I think it frustrates my husband sometimes because I just look at all sides of things. And I tend to remain pretty calm about life in general. But, you just kind of have, I think another important part of this process, and something that I heard at Summit from Julie Voris, and she runs the Super Saturdays in Indy. So I've heard it multiple times. I heard it in September, and I heard it again in July when I went to Super Saturday, to trust and believe. And I really think with this business, you just have to trust and believe in this process. We have these vital behaviors that have been set up for us. It's worked for so many coaches. And so while it may seem slow, and in that first year, it's tough. I mean, it's just downright tough. And you're learning the business. You're trying to get your footing. You're trying to figure out what works for you. But you just have to believe that it's all going to come together. I think, again, for me, it all came together within the past 3 months for me. I didn't anticipate it taking me that long, but I just redefined my vision. I knew I was going to hit diamond. There was no question. Diamond was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And like I said, I just really cracked down. When Jamie approached me in October, it was kind of like, this is it. No more playing around. We're going to get this done. And these were people I had planned to approach about coaching anyway. I don't feel that I went and tried to, add in, do anything, slimy. I feel really good about the people I added. These are people, some of them are discount coaches that I think have a lot of potential to be business builders when and if they're ready. So just trusting and believing in this process that is set up, and in the trainings that are provided for you, I think will speak a lot for this business. Some saying I heard earlier today was, people are often rewarded in public for what they do in private. And so we're spending this time behind the scenes building our businesses. And someday that will pay off, whether it's your ability to quit your job or travel, pay off debts, whatever it is. There will be some reward that comes out of putting in this work. behind the scenes that people don't always see. You know, it's up to us to, again, kind of trudge through some of those negative thoughts and, you know, kind of turn them off, shut them up. You know, if it's a matter of, you know, you just can't shake this whole fear of inviting, you know, I'm more than happy to talk to you. We'll figure out something. You know, if it's breaking it down to even one a day, I mean, I think you just have to start somewhere. That's the big thing. I've had those invites where it's like, oh man, you know, I really want to reach out to this person, but I am absolutely terrified. I will hit send, close the computer, just walk away. I mean, I still do it. I had those people on my list that to me could be dream coaches that I think could rock this business. But, you know, again, it takes with building that confidence. And I think through personal development, plugging into live events, plugging into team calls like this, are going to have a big impact on building that confidence and building up your trust and belief in this business. You know, I had one quote, now I can't find it. Wherever your focus goes, that's where the energy flows. So if your focus is on the business and your focus is on your invites, that's where the energy is going to come from. You're going to start building those relationships and you're going to start seeing people coming back to you. You know, you get these challengers in the groups and they're coming back and saying, wow, I can't, you know, thank you so much. Or I've had a number of people that are like, thank you for reaching out to me. This is exactly what I needed. You know, I watch people, I know scrolling through Facebook wastes a lot of time, but I also pick up a lot of valuable information. I watch for people that are talking about wanting to live healthier, working out, that are have active lifestyles. I reach out to those people because we have something in common. We want to live healthier lives. And so I'm always jotting names down, like I said, and when I add people to my list or add friends on Facebook, add them to my list. So the last couple of things I wanted to show you with visualizing your business, in the back office, there is a Diamond Coach business model. So we're going to try to screen share again here. I think this is what I want. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Okay, wrong one. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have seen this, but this is a Diamond Coach business model. It's in the back office. So this is where you can kind of lay out your coaches on your right and your left leg. My left leg is my strong leg. My right leg is my weak leg. You can kind of see at the top, I've got my Emerald coaches with their personally sponsored coaches. And I've kind of marked where my discount and builders are. I have a little strategy, not really a whole lot. So don't.
Hey, Megan.
Yep.
I'm not seeing it. I don't know if anybody else is, but.
Okay, maybe. Oh, bring your shared windows. Oh.
Yeah, just try it again.
Okay. Okay, let's try this again. I think I switched screens and there we go. Okay. Aha. Is it there now?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that. I switched screens in the middle. Okay. So business coach or Diamond Coach business model. For me, this was really helpful just to kind of see where I was and where I needed to add my coaches. So this visual, like I said, is in the back office and you can kind of see where everybody falls. I have a few more coaches further down that I've added, but you're going to get the gist of it's 8 coaches, 2 Emeralds, and 6 other personally sponsored coaches. So if you map it out, some of you may be closer than you realize, and some of you may be getting started, and that's okay too. But this is just a nice visual to see where you're at. The other thing I found, and I haven't done this, but I'm going to because I think it looks pretty cool, but a coach action plan. You know, my success partner is, you know, write out your why. I think that's important to look at every day or have somewhere. Setting your goals. This is good really for beginning coaches, but I think even as a coach, like I said, I've been up and down. I like coming back to these things because it just resets my mind on why I'm doing these things. You know, defining some activities that are like your non-negotiables, like every day I'm going to do these things no matter what. Social media posts, inviting, working out, reading your personal development, whatever it is. And then identifying potential obstacles. So again, we have our excuses. What's our plan to get over those and, you know, get rid of them. So those are just a few little visuals that I wanted to add in there. So I guess, you know, really in closing, like I was saying, if you can change your thoughts about how to approach the business and inviting and those things that kind of scare you, you can make a lot of changes. I mean, with the business and in life, you know, I think a positive mind can take you a lot of places. So I don't know if anybody has questions.
You know, I wanted to say something. You know, with you, you've been so positive the whole, like your whole coaching journey too. And I think the biggest thing is, you know, we've had those ruts, you know, where you said, you know, you kind of, especially when that time when you were living with your parents. And I remember getting on the phone with you and just, you know, saying it's okay, you know, just do what you can, you know, at this time, and then you can pick it back up. Yeah. And I think that was one of the big things is, you know, you being so teachable and just listening. And then I think, you know, just even us getting on the phone together helps too. And those times and just kind of talking you through that. But just in general, just being teachable. And then, like I said, something else, when you did hit diamond, and I noticed this now that you are diamond, that your excitement has just skyrocketed through the roof, because she is in a training group. And I don't know if you want to explain about that a little bit, what Beachbody does when you get to diamond. Yeah. So when I hit diamond, I wasn't expecting this, but corporate reached out and asked me to join a new diamond training. So it was a 4-week training for new diamond coaches. Once a week we did a webinar. It was like 20 minutes. It wasn't much of a commitment. And we did have assignments that we had to do, and we worked on our vision. We talked about, you know, goal setting. Of course, I don't have it right in front of me. You know, how to balance like the business and setting business hours, and then working on how do you lead a team, or, you know, setting up team calls. And so being in that, I was able to, and it was a very small group. It was just myself and I think 4 other new diamond coaches from the Midwest region. So it was really nice, and it's opened up some doors to be in some other groups that are run by corporate for people that are like diamond and 1-star diamond pushing for 2-star. And I've met some people in those groups where I've been able to bounce some ideas and just kind of get, like I said, some ideas, and that's kind of given me some new energy. So I definitely have a lot of ideas going, which is sometimes bad because then my mind's going in a few different directions on what to do. But it does make me really excited about going beyond diamond. I heard a coach say, you know, diamond's not a destination, it's the beginning. And I really believe that. I think don't just strive to hit diamond. You've got to strive to go beyond it. Like I said, I watched this video about being 2-star diamond and what it means to hit 2-star diamond, and being able to what kind of opportunities arise with that. And it was kind of like, I can do that. You know, I never really questioned it. You know, I will get there in my time and God's time. You know I will hit that goal. So I have a lot of visions for my team and where we're going. We have a lot of good energy on this team. So, I mean, I think 2016 is going to be a great year for us. I see a lot of, like I said, a lot of potential for us. So, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing.
Sure.
I'm looking through and stuff. Does anybody have any questions for Megan?
I was looking through the questions. Yes, Sam, there is a place in the back office, and I can help you find it. There's an events and training tab. Like, I think it says news and training. And then if you go down there on events, there's usually a map for Super Saturday events, but I can help you find it too. And we can check with Sherry Beasley because she's nearby you and she does that one. I'm still waiting to find out what's in Indianapolis because I haven't heard anything. So I might be driving somewhere. I don't know. It's also the same weekend again as my son's birthday, and I don't know what we're doing for his birthday yet. So at least it's not on the day of his birthday. So we'll see what happens. But
do you mind sharing that? And I know I'm pretty sure you've shared it with me too, but I know that 2-star diamond video got you really excited. And I remember you telling me about it and sharing that. Would that be something you could share?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I can send that out. Katie Green is the coach that did it, but I will find it. I just watched it maybe a couple weeks ago again, just to remind myself, again, why I'm going after it and just the potential from a business standpoint. I don't know. I'm kind of a geek about watching other coach videos. I learn a lot. For me, personal development, I read a lot in my job. So sometimes I just don't want to read. So I will watch videos, and that works for me. I watch old webinars and things. So.
Well, Kelly, do you have anything? I don't know if you have anything.
No, I don't. I think she nailed it.
You did a great job, Megan.
I know. I can't your story. I was talking to a coach this morning, and I'm going to make sure she watches this because your story is very much like she's kind of at where you were when you started to decide to make a change. So hope this will resonate with her.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see where Megan goes. And like I said, she's bringing all these crazy new ideas my way, just, with the other training she's going through and all that, and just from other coaches. So that's exciting too. So they didn't even have anything like that when
I know, I feel really left out.
At all. I was just I told her, I said, I'm jealous.
Left out on your own.
What's that?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. It's a learning curve.
Yeah. Well, and I will say in the back office, they've redone the training, and they do have some new tools for those that are approaching emerald or approaching diamond, and kind of like a checklist, do these things to keep working towards this goal. And they have some nice suggestions back there. I haven't spent a lot of time, but I have glanced over it a little bit. So just another resource to check if you're not sure what to do. But yeah.
That's a good reminder too. I always sometimes forget about everything that we have in our back office because we have, so much other stuff too. So I tend to forget about that too. So that's a good reminder as well. So next call, our next team call will be in January next year.
Yes.
And let's see, that will be the January 13th, and that will be with Miss Sherry Beasley. So she'll be running our call then. But we're just excited that you guys are going to be, leading some of these calls and not listening to Kelly or I talk all the time. So, and we like to learn from you guys. I've learned a lot from, what Megan's doing. And like I said, all these new ideas that she's bringing back. And I'm just happy that she's, sharing all those things with our team. And so I'm excited to see where we go in 2016. And I think this is our biggest call we've had yet. We have 16 people on tonight. So that's amazing. And
way to make it.
I looked at the event page before I was logging in, and I saw how many people were coming. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Public speaking is not my thing. I'm glad I'm just in my basement on the computer, and I see you, but you're not right here staring. I don't know. It's different, but
there's 17.
Oh,
Someone doesn't tag along.
No. Well, we won't keep you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next year. So,
yes. Yeah, have a wonderful Christmas, guys.
Yes. Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you later.
all right.
Bye.